First contact gone wrong. The stars blurred outside the viewport as Captain Alina Reyes stood on the bridge of the ESS Pathfinder, humanity's first diplomatic vessel designed for interstellar travel. After decades of theoretical work, humanity had finally cracked the mysteries of faster-than-light travel. The Pathfinder represented Earth's greatest achievement, a testament to human ingenuity and the culmination of worldwide cooperation. Status report, Reyes called, her voice steady despite the gravity of their mission. Lieutenant Commander Jackson looked up from his console. All systems nominal, Captain. We'll drop out of FTL in approximately 5 minutes. First contact protocols are prepared and ready. Reyes nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. 6 billion humans back on Earth were counting on her and her crew to represent humanity in its first official meeting with alien civilizations. Scientists had detected artificial signals from this sector for years, suggesting an advanced civilization. No one had expected to find what awaited them. As the Pathfinder decelerated, the starscape transformed from streaking lines back into distant pinpoints of light. What greeted them was far beyond their expectations. "My God," whispered Commander Vega, the first officer. "That's not a civilization. That's an empire." Before them spread a vast armada of sleek vessels, their designs varied yet uniformly elegant. Hundreds of ships moved in perfect coordination around what appeared to be a massive space station, a gleaming orb surrounded by interlocking rings that pulsed with energy. "We're being hailed, Captain," announced Communications Officer Chen, her fingers dancing across her panel. "Open channel," Reyes ordered, straightening her uniform. "This is Captain Alina Reyes of the Earth spaceship Pathfinder. We come in peace as representatives of humanity." The screen flickered, revealing a being unlike anything they had imagined. The alien had 4 arms and iridescent skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Its eyes, all 6 of them, were arranged in a circle around what Reyes assumed was its head. "I am High Chancellor Zorix of the Galactic Hegemony," the alien replied, its voice translated through their systems into something approximating human speech. "Your presence is unexpected." Over the next several hours, the humans learned that they had stumbled into the territory of a 50,000-year-old alliance of species called the Hegemony. This collective governed most of the known galaxy, with strict hierarchies based on technological advancement and species age. In the diplomatic chambers of the Hegemony Station, Reyes and her team presented Earth's achievements and extended offers of friendship and mutual exchange. The reception was cold. "Your species is barely 300,000 years old," said Zorix, surrounded by representatives from a dozen other species. "You've had electricity for less than 200 planetary rotations, and you've only just discovered basic spatial manipulation. By our standards, you are infants." "With respect, Chancellor," Reyes replied, "humanity's rapid advancement might offer fresh perspectives to the hegemony. We bring new ideas, different approaches." "You bring nothing we haven't seen 1,000 times before," interrupted a tall, spindly being introduced as Administrator Krell. "Every young species believes itself special. It is not. There is an order to this galaxy, Captain Reyes. Species your age serve as protectorates under our guidance until they mature enough to earn limited autonomy." Reyes felt a chill run down her spine. "Earth will not submit to protectorate status. We come as equals seeking friendship, not servitude." The chamber fell silent. The aliens exchanged looks that the humans couldn't interpret. "That is not how the galaxy functions," said Zorix finally. "You will return to your homeworld with our terms. Earth will submit to hegemony authority, or it will be deemed hostile to galactic stability." For 3 days, Reyes and her diplomatic team tried to negotiate better terms, but the hegemony was inflexible. Their civilization had functioned this way for 50 millennia, and they saw no reason to change for what they viewed as primitive newcomers. On the 4th day, as the Pathfinder prepared to depart with the disappointing news, Reyes received an urgent message from her security chief. "Captain, we're detecting energy buildups from the hegemony vessels. They're activating weapon systems." "Hail them immediately," Rise ordered, a sense of dread building. The face of Administrator Krell appeared on screen. "Captain Rise, our council has determined that your species presents a destabilizing influence. Your resistance to natural order and your surprisingly advanced propulsion technology make you too unpredictable. The hegemony has decided that humanity requires adjustment." "We came in peace," Rise protested, her heart pounding. "We've taken no hostile action." "Your very existence in its current form is hostile to order," Krell replied coldly. "Your ship will not be returning to Earth. A hegemony fleet will visit your world to implement proper protocols for a species at your development stage. Resistance is inadvisable." The transmission cut. Alarms blared across the bridge as multiple energy signatures locked onto the Pathfinder. "Evasive maneuvers," Rise shouted. "Power to shields. Prepare emergency jump protocols." But the Pathfinder, designed for diplomacy rather than warfare, stood little chance against the hegemony's firepower. The first volley of energy beams sliced through their shields like paper. "Jump drive damage," reported Engineering Officer Patel, his face streaked with blood from a panel explosion. "We can't outrun them, Captain." Rise made the hardest decision of her life. "All hands to escape pods. Transmit everything we've learned back to Earth on all frequencies." "Captain, the escape pods won't make it past their weapons," Jackson argued. "Most won't," Rise agreed grimly. "But we need to increase the odds that at least one does. Earth needs to know what's coming." As the crew scrambled to evacuate, Rise remained on the bridge, manually operating the communication array to ensure their data reached home. The Pathfinder shuddered under repeated impacts, systems failing one by one. In the final moments before the ship broke apart, Rise transmitted one last message. "This is Captain Alina Reyes of the Pathfinder. The galactic hegemony is hostile. Earth is in danger. Prepare defenses. Don't trust their terms. We were wrong about first contact, but humanity must not submit. Fight. Survive. Remember us." The Pathfinder exploded in a brilliant flash, visible for millions of kilometers in all directions. The hegemony observers recorded everything, data streaming back to their homeworlds for analysis. Not one of them considered that a few escape pods had managed to slip away in the chaos, carrying survivors and critical information. 3 years passed. The hegemony annexation fleet arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system with overwhelming force. 50 vessels, each capable of reducing a continent to ash, moved into formation. Their sensors detected minimal defensive preparations, some orbital platforms, a handful of primitive ships with limited armaments. Nothing that posed any threat to their advanced technology. Grand Admiral Thex, commander of the fleet, was almost disappointed. After the unusual resistance from the Pathfinder's captain, he had expected more. "Final approach to the target planet," reported his second-in-command. "No significant resistance detected. Their global communication networks are active but contain no discussion of our presence. It appears they are either unaware or have chosen to ignore our arrival." "Curious," Thex mused. "Perhaps their detection technology is even more primitive than we thought. Prepare the announcement broadcast. Inform them of their new status and begin the standard subjugation protocols." But as the fleet crossed the orbit of Mars, something unexpected happened. Space itself seemed to ripple and tear open directly in the path of the hegemony vessels. A massive object emerged from what appeared to be a spatial fold, something that should have been impossible for a species at humanity's development stage. What emerged defied all hegemony expectations. It was a ship, but unlike anything they had encountered in thousands of years of space exploration. Shaped like an ancient naval vessel from Earth's history, the spacecraft stretched nearly 5 kilometers from bow to stern. Its hull was midnight black, absorbing rather than reflecting light, making it appear like a moving void against the stars. Blue energy pulsed along geometric patterns across its surface, suggesting power systems beyond hegemony understanding. On its side, in stark white lettering, was its name, ESS Phoenix. Impossible, whispered Thex as alarms blared across his bridge. Scan that vessel immediately. Before his crew could comply, a transmission cut through all hegemony communication channels. This is Admiral Shenwei of the Earth spaceship Phoenix to Hegemony Invasion Fleet. You destroy our diplomatic vessel without provocation and threatened our homeworld. Your annexation will not proceed today. Earth is not yours to claim. Thex recovered his composure quickly. This is Grand Admiral Thex of the Galactic Hegemony. Your resistance is noted but futile. One vessel, no matter how unexpectedly advanced, cannot stand against our fleet. Power down your systems and prepare for boarding. The response was immediate. I think you misunderstand the situation, Admiral. We are not resisting your annexation. We are rejecting it entirely. The Phoenix rises. 3 years earlier, as the dying transmission from the Pathfinder reached Earth, humanity had experienced its first true moment of global unity. Nations that had been enemies for centuries put aside their differences. Resources were pooled, research was shared, and a single focus emerged: survival. The survivors from the Pathfinder's escape pods brought with them not just tales of betrayal, but also valuable data on hegemony technology and tactics. Most crucially, they'd brought understanding of the hegemony's fatal flaw: complacency born from thousands of years of unchallenged dominance. Now, as the Phoenix faced the hegemony fleet, all of humanity's desperate work was put to the test. On the bridge of the massive Earth vessel, Admiral Shenwei stood calmly, his weathered face betraying none of the tension he felt. The bridge crew, drawn from every nation on Earth, worked with practiced efficiency at their stations. Hegemony vessels are moving into attack formation, reported Tactical Officer Okafor. They're charging weapons. We nodded. Activate defensive systems. Deploy countermeasures Alpha through Delta. Let's show them what humans do when cornered. The first volley from the hegemony fleet should have vaporized the Phoenix instantly. Instead, the energy weapons seemed to bend around the Earth vessel, their destructive power dissipating harmlessly into space. On his flagship, Admiral Thex stared in disbelief. Impossible. Fire again, all batteries. The second attack had the same result. The Phoenix remained untouched. Sir, called out Science Officer Mira on the Phoenix bridge. Hegemony ships are adjusting their weapon frequencies. Adaptive protocols engage. Wei smiled slightly. Now, Commander Ishikawa, show them our response. From ports along the Phoenix's hull, hundreds of small objects launched toward the hegemony fleet. Too small to register as significant threats on their sensors, the devices attached themselves to the hulls of 20 hegemony vessels before their defense systems could react. Detonation in 3, 2, 1. Counted down Okafor. There was no explosion. Instead, the affected hegemony ships simply went dark, their systems shutting down completely. What did you do? Demanded Thex over the still-open channel. Targeted EMP technology, White replied. Enhanced by our understanding of your power systems, those ships will not threaten anyone again. On the Phoenix, Lieutenant Rodriguez called out from the communications station. Sir, we're detecting increased chatter among the hegemony fleet. They're coordinating for a concentrated attack. We nodded. As expected. Phase 2, Commander. The Phoenix suddenly accelerated to speeds that should have been impossible for a vessel of its size, moving directly toward the heart of the hegemony formation. Before they could react, it released a cloud of what appeared to be metallic dust. Sensors compromised, shouted the hegemony sensor operator on Thex's vessel. The particles are absorbing our scanning frequencies and refracting them back with false returns. Within moments, the hegemony fleet was firing blindly, their sophisticated targeting systems rendered useless by technology they had never encountered. Aboard the Phoenix, Admiral Wei watched calmly as the hegemony vessels began hitting each other in the confusion. Their coordination is breaking down, observed First Officer Nakamura. Just as Captain Rice noted in her reports, they rely too heavily on their technology, and have no protocols for situations where it fails. We nodded. The hegemony hasn't faced a serious military challenge in millennia. They've forgotten the art of adaptation. He turned tactical. Target their flagship's propulsion systems only. Minimal damage. The Phoenix's main weapon system activated, a hybrid of Earth particle beam technology and principles reverse-engineered from studying the wreckage of smaller hegemony scout ships that had been captured after the Pathfinder incident. The beam struck Thex's flagship with surgical precision, disabling its engines without destroying the vessel. Channel open to their command ship, Rodriguez reported. Wei stood from his command chair. Admiral Thex, this demonstration is concluded. 20 of your ships are permanently disabled. The rest are firing on each other due to sensor confusion. Your flagship cannot maneuver. We could continue until your entire fleet is destroyed. But unlike the hegemony, humanity does not believe in unnecessary bloodshed. On his crippled vessel, Thex struggled to comprehend how completely his fleet had been outmaneuvered. How? Your species was barely capable of interplanetary travel 3 years ago. Necessity is the mother of invention, White replied. When your existence is threatened, you evolve or die. The hegemony has done neither for too long. He continued, here are our terms. The hegemony will recognize Earth and the Sol system as sovereign territory. No annexation, no protectorate status. We will engage with the galactic community as equals, or not at all. The Council will never agree to this. Thex protested. 50,000 years of tradition is about to change. Wei interrupted. The Phoenix is just the first of our fleet. We have 5 more under construction. Your annexation force has been defeated without a single loss of life. Consider what would happen if we decided to be truly hostile. Silence fell across the communication channel. You have 24 Earth hours to begin withdrawal, Wei concluded. After that, we cannot guarantee the safety of your remaining vessels. In the months that followed, the galactic hegemony experienced something it hadn't known in 50 millennia. Change. The defeat of their annexation fleet by a supposedly primitive species forced a fundamental reassessment of their assumptions and practices. Earth was granted special status, neither member nor subject of the hegemony, but a recognized independent power. Other younger species, inspired by humanity's stand, began to question their own subservient positions. On the first anniversary of what became known as the Phoenix Encounter, a new diplomatic vessel departed Earth. The ESS Pathfinder II, named in honor of its predecessor, carried representatives to the hegemony's central worlds. Among them was Captain Maya Reyes, daughter of the late Captain Elena Reyes, carrying her mother's final log. As the ship prepared for departure, Admiral Wei offered some final words. Remember, Captain, we come in peace, but we come as equals. Humanity will not needle, not now, not ever. Maya nodded, determination in her eyes. They mocked us once. They won't make that mistake again. As the Pathfinder Io disappeared into the FTL corridor, humanity looked to the stars not with fear, but with confidence. The galaxy had shuddered when Earth's battleship appeared, and now they would learn what humans could accomplish in peace as well as war. The Phoenix had risen from the ashes, and the universe would never be the same.